Hey guys, it's Ed, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to talk about biscuits. So let's get one thing straight. I'm British, so to me this is a biscuit, but to Americans this is a biscuit, and this is the one we're going to concentrate on today. It's a buttermilk flaky biscuit, so think kind of like a classic British scone, but it's savoury with lots of salted butter and lots of flaky layers. It's very easy to make and it's super delicious. So to make these biscuits, all we're going to need is a few very simple ingredients, most of which you probably already have in your kitchen. So we need some self-raising flour along with a little bit of baking soda and then some salted butter, and then to get that classic biscuit flavour we're also going to use some buttermilk. So all we need to do is combine all of those ingredients together, but it's the method that will create this really flaky biscuit. So the first thing we're going to do is take our butter, which has to be really nice and cold, and that's because the butter and the evaporation of it will help create those flaky layers. So if the butter's too warm, we'll just get a dense biscuit, not that nice flaky texture. So we're going to add the butter to our flour, and then we're going to use one of these. This is a pastry blender, and it just means you don't have to work with your hands to start off with, so you are less likely to melt the butter. So just push into the butter, cutting it into the flour. Then once that's cut into the size of kind of peas, nice big chunks, we're then going to get our hands in just briefly. What you want to do is just rub that butter until a little bit of it is fully combined, but most of it is still in those big pieces. The reason for that is the butter that we're going to rub into the flour will create tenderness, but that butter we leave in chunks will help create the flaky layers. So it's really important we get a mixture of those two textures. At this stage, with our butter worked in, we now need to pop it in the freezer for about 15 minutes so that our butter gets nice and firm again, because we're going to start working the dough and we don't want that butter to get any smaller or start to become warm, which will mean we end up with a greasier, denser biscuit. So once our butter and flour mixture is out of the freezer, we need to work quickly so that the butter stays nice and cold. So all we're going to do at this stage is take our buttermilk and then we're going to drizzle it a little bit at a time over the flour, and then using either a knife or a fork, we're just going to cut that into the flour mixture, just kind of stirring it together until it's all combined. It looks slightly like a shaggy mess to start with, but then as it gets worked in, it'll start to form a dough. At this stage, we're going to turn it out onto the work surface and just very quickly and briefly bring that together in a uniform dough. So now that we've brought our dough together, what we're going to do is add in a final little step just to help add a little bit more flakiness, add a little bit more layering into the dough. So what we're going to do is roll out that rectangle to a size that's roughly 20 by 50 centimeters with the length facing in front of you. The exact size really isn't important, we just want a nice rectangle shape. We're then going to fold it into thirds, almost like a business letter, and that's going to build in extra layering in the dough and help create a nice flaky biscuit. Then all you need to do is just slightly roll it out a little bit further until it's about an inch or so thick. Then using a round cookie cutter, we're just going to cut out as many biscuits as we can. Now you can re-roll the scraps and you'll get 2 more biscuits from this, but generally they won't ever be as good because by that point you've worked the dough quite a bit, but they'll still taste delicious, they just might be a little bit tougher. Once you've cut out the biscuits, put those onto a parchment-lined baking tray, pop that in the fridge for about 15 minutes, just to get the butter nice and cold once again. Once the oven is preheated and the biscuits are nice and chilled, we're going to finish them off by brushing the tops with a little extra butter, because more butter means more flavour. And then we're going to pop those into the preheated oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're really nice and golden brown. And then if you want, you can also brush on a little bit more butter after they come out the oven as well, which is also a very good thing. So that is how you make the classic American style flaky buttermilk biscuit. As always, the recipe is up in the corner, and if there's anything else American maybe that you want to see me make in an upcoming video, leave a comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe because I make new baking videos every single week.